The warning came through every frequency simultaneously. Jennifer's neural interface lit up with cascading alerts as the Galactic Council's emergency broadcast pierced through normal comm channels. She straightened in her captain's chair aboard the Prometheus, her fingers dancing across holographic controls to filter the cacophony into something comprehensible. All species are advised to maintain minimum safe distance of 15 light-years from Sagittarius A. Repeat, do not approach the galactic core. Human vessel Prometheus is engaged in prohibited stellar manipulation. Kevin looked up from the engineering console, his dark eyes meeting Jennifer's with a mixture of amusement and concern. They're really not happy with us. They never are, Jennifer replied, pulling up the gravitational readings from their current position, a mere 2 light-years from the supermassive black hole at the galaxy's center. Numbers cascaded across her vision, mass equivalent to 4 million sols, event horizon spanning 24 million kilometers, hawking radiation output approaching theoretical maximums. How's the solar tether holding? Remarkably well, considering we're doing something that violates about 17 different galactic treaties. Kevin expanded a 3-dimensional model between them. A golden thread, humanity's star, their own sun, transported across 26,000 light-years through a controlled wormhole, hung suspended near the black hole's accretion disk. Frame dragging effects are within predicted parameters. The sun's magnetic field is actually stabilizing better than simulations suggested. Jennifer allowed herself a slight smile. Humanity had been the laughingstock of the Galactic Council for decades. Too primitive, they said. Too reckless. A species that still burned fossil fuels when it first detected extraterrestrial signals, that nearly destroyed itself a dozen times before achieving interstellar flight. The Council had given them basic Alcubierre drive technology out of pity, expecting them to settle a few nearby systems and fade into cosmic irrelevance. They hadn't expected humans to look at a black hole and see opportunity. The comm system chimed again, this time with a direct hail. Jennifer accepted it, and the bridge's holographic display resolved into the crystalline form of Ambassador Velthar, the Corinthian representative who had opposed humanity's council membership from the beginning. Captain Jennifer Okafor, the alien's translated voice carried notes of what the interface labeled as extreme agitation. You must cease this insanity immediately. Your species does not comprehend the forces you are tampering with. Ambassador, Jennifer replied evenly, we've been through this. All simulations have been shared with the Council's scientific directorate. The math is sound. The math, Velthar's form shifted through colors indicating disbelief, is irrelevant when dealing with a singularity. For 3 million years, every spacefaring civilization has known this fundamental truth. Black holes are to be avoided, never utilized. They are cosmic graves, entropy wells from which nothing returns. Kevin interjected from his station, unable to resist. That's actually not technically true. Hawking radiation means. Do not lecture me on physics, human. The ambassador's colors darkened. My people were harnessing stellar fusion when yours were still hunting with pointed sticks. We know what we're talking about. Jennifer raised a hand, silencing Kevin with a glance. Ambassador, with respect, knowing something and understanding its full potential are different things. Yes, black holes are dangerous, but they're also the most energy-dense objects in the universe. The Penrose process alone has been theoretically understood for millennia, Velthar interrupted. Understanding does not equal implementation. No species has ever been foolish enough to attempt what you're describing. Then perhaps, Jennifer said quietly, no species has ever been desperate enough. That silenced the ambassador, because that was the truth that hung between humanity and the rest of the galaxy. Earth was dying, not from some sudden catastrophe, but from the slow, inevitable expansion of their sun as it aged. In another billion years, their homeworld would be uninhabitable. The Council's answer had been simple: evacuate, relocate, abandoned the cradle of humanity to cosmic indifference. Humans had a different answer. Initiating rotational extraction, Kevin announced, his voice cutting through the tension. Jennifer, you'll want to see this. The holographic display shifted, relegating Velthar to a corner window. The main view showed their sun, its corona stretched and distorted by the black hole's immense gravity. But instead of being consumed, the star was orbiting in a carefully calculated trajectory, skimming the ergosphere, that region outside the event horizon where spacetime itself was dragged around the singularity. And as it orbited, something remarkable happened. Massive solar flares erupted from the sun's surface, but instead of dissipating into space, they were caught in the frame-dragging effect of the rotating black hole. The magnetic fields twisted, compressed, accelerated. The flares became beams of coherent energy, extracted and redirected by the black hole's rotation into a directed stream that shot outward at relativistic speeds. Energy output is, Kevin's voice held genuine awe, it's exceeding our most optimistic projections by 40%. The black hole's rotation is acting like a cosmic amplifier, taking the sun's output and multiplying it through the Penrose process. Jennifer watched the numbers climb. The energy being extracted, pulled from the black hole's own rotational energy as much as from the sun, was staggering. Enough to power human civilization for millions of years. Enough to reverse engineer their dying homeworld's climate. Enough to make humanity not just another struggling species begging for scraps, but a galactic power in their own right. This is madness, Velthar's voice rose in pitch. You've moved your own star across the galaxy to feed it into a black hole. What happens when something goes wrong? What happens when the orbit decays? It won't, Jennifer replied with confidence she'd earned through 2 years of preparation and simulation. We're not feeding our sun to the black hole, Ambassador. We're dancing with it. The orbit is stable. The energy extraction is controlled. And in approximately 600 years, when we've harvested sufficient energy and our sun has aged enough that the process becomes risky, we'll reverse the wormhole and return it to its original position. You're playing with forces that have destroyed civilizations. No, Kevin interjected, his voice carrying an edge now. Civilizations have been destroyed by fear of these forces, by treating black holes as off-limits, as cosmic monsters to flee from rather than understand. He pulled up a historical data set. We've analyzed 3,000 years of galactic exploration logs. Do you know how many times any council species has attempted close-approach study of an event horizon? 17 times, total, across all member species. You've let fear calcify into doctrine. Jennifer continued, humans have a saying, Ambassador, necessity is the mother of invention. We didn't have the luxury of finding a new star to orbit. Our sun is part of our identity, our history, our very biology. So we found a way to save it, and in the process, we've opened a door you never thought to try. On the main display, the energy stream stabilized into a continuous beam. The Prometheus's collection arrays, positioned at carefully calculated Lagrange points, began converting that raw energy into usable forms. Matter-antimatter pairs materialized from the vacuum, trapped and separated by magnetic fields of impossible strength. The black hole's rotation slowed by an infinitesimal amount, so small it would take billions of years to notice. But that tiny loss translated into apocalyptic amounts of harvestable energy. Initial collection efficiency at 92%, Kevin reported. We're actually doing this, Jennifer. We're mining a black hole. Velthar's form had shifted to colors the translation software struggled to interpret. The Council will never approve this technology for wider use. You've proven it's possible, but that doesn't mean it's wise. Jennifer leaned back in her chair, a weight lifting from her shoulders. The proof of concept was complete. Earth would survive. Ambassador, we're not asking for permission to share this technology. We're not asking for anything. We're simply showing you what's possible when you stop letting fear dictate your relationship with the universe. This is reckless arrogance. This is survival, Jennifer interrupted, her voice firm. And maybe that's something your species, comfortable in your safe systems with your stable stars, can't understand. But humans, we've spent our entire existence staring into the abyss and asking, how can we use this? Kevin pulled up another display, this one showing projections. Ambassador, with your permission, I'd like to share our full data package with the Council's Scientific Directorate. Not for approval, the process is already running, but because buried in our results are techniques that could revolutionize everything from faster-than-light travel to exotic matter production. The frame-dragging effects alone have implications for. Enough! Velthar's form had settled into a deep blue that the translator marked as thoughtful resignation. You've made your point. I will. Convey your data to the Directorate. But know this, humans, you've changed something fundamental today. The galaxy will never look at black holes or at your species the same way again. The connection terminated. Jennifer and Kevin sat in silence for a moment, watching their son dance with a monster at the galaxy's heart, turning terror into triumph. You know, Kevin finally said, in about 500 years when we move the sun back, we're going to have enough energy banked to do this again with any star system we want. We could offer this as a service. Dying star, unstable system, just rent us your black hole for a few centuries. Jennifer laughed, a sound of pure relief and exhilaration. One impossible thing at a time, Kevin. Let's make sure this one works first. But even as she said it, she was already thinking ahead. Humanity had spent so long being the newcomers, the primitives, the species that didn't understand how things were done. Now, they'd shown the galaxy something it had never imagined. They'd taken the universe's most feared phenomenon and turned it into a tool. And that, Jennifer thought as she watched energy readings climb toward levels that would have seemed like fantasy a decade ago, was the most human thing imaginable. The Prometheus maintained its position, monitoring, adjusting, refining. 2 light-years from the galactic core, a star that had illuminated humanity's entire history spun in impossible orbit, fed by human audacity and protected by human ingenuity. The galaxy had feared black holes for millions of years. Humans had looked at one and seen a power source. That difference, Jennifer knew, would change everything.